Hey there everybody! I'm going to show you how to make these really simple paper butterflies with heat transfer vinyl. I love this method because two reasons. One, I love combining vinyl and paper together, but if you try to use adhesive vinyl on most cardstocks, the transfer tape that it requires to transfer the adhesive vinyl will rip your paper. But when you use heat transfer vinyl or iron-on vinyl, that doesn't happen because it uses a different carrier sheet. So we're able to use vinyl if we use the iron-on or heat transfer vinyl. The second reason I love to use this is because typically heat transfer vinyl, specifically the glitter heat transfer vinyl, is a lot more sparkly than the adhesive. So it really just adds that extra punch of detail to your butterflies. So you can do this with any color paper, you can do this with any heat transfer vinyl. You can see here I have some really small ones with some gold that I did, and like I said, you can do any color here. It's very, very simple. You're just going to start with cutting out your base piece of your butterfly in cardstock, and then you're going to cut out the top piece in heat transfer vinyl, iron-on vinyl. It's the same thing. They're known as both. And then you just weed out those extra pieces, and then we're going to use our Easy Press Mini here to place those onto the cardstock. You can also use your standard Easy Press. An iron may even work on a low setting as well. So very simple process. If you like these templates, go ahead and visit the blog post linked below this video, and you can find some freebies on the blog, as well as some signature styles in my shop as well. So to do this, it's very simple. After you get everything cut out on your Cricut machine, you're just going to place your cardstock on a heat-safe surface. So I'm just using the Easy Press mat here, and I have my Cricut Easy Press Mini set to the highest setting. I have done it on the medium, but the high setting, it just transfers it very quickly, so you don't have to keep something pressed on there for a long period of time. So I recommend doing it on the highest setting. Okay, so you're just going to need to line it up, and that's how simple it is. You just need to look down at it and give yourself a second to get it aligned properly. And once you've aligned it, place it down on that heat-safe surface. It might take a little bit of a moment there to get it properly aligned. And you don't want to, when you go and put this down, you don't want to scoot it a bunch because it will move the top design. So I recommend placing it straight down, holding it for about 10 seconds or so on one side of the butterfly, and then lifting it up, and do the other side, holding for about 10 seconds or so. If you're using the larger Easy Press, this will probably go actually a little faster, just because you could just set the whole Easy Press down right on top of it. I just like to use my mini press for smaller projects like this, but either will work just fine. And it should peel off very effortlessly. So if for any reason it's not, see how mine's lifting right there, then you just need to hold it for a few seconds longer. Also, with heat transfer vinyl, it's very important to let it cool before you touch it, not only for your safety, of course, but also because as it cools, it adheres to that material underneath. So if you don't give it a few seconds to cool, then it may not stick all the way to the cardstock material that's below. So I just sort of got into using heat transfer vinyl with cardstock. It's actually a really brilliant concept because there's just so much more you can do with it now. And if you were to try and cut out, the cardstock base and then another sheet of paper for the detail piece here, you could do that, and I've done that, but it can be a little bit challenging to get the glue all in the right places when you're dealing with these very intricate spots, and it can also be difficult to get everything to lay perfectly flat to where you have that clean of an edge. So that's the beauty of using an iron-on vinyl with cardstock. So let me check my little butterfly here, see how he's doing. Yep, nice and cool. Peel that right off, and there you go. That's how simple it is. And I can just take it now and fold the wings up if I want to add a little 3D pop to my butterfly. Just like that. And you could add a little piece of tape there if you wanted to stick it onto a wall, or if you're putting it on another project, or put a piece of wire if you wanted to float it on top of like another project or in a bouquet of flowers or something like that. If you're using my paper flowers, then that might be something you want to decorate with, is some butterflies or something like that. So that is one way I do it. And another way I like to do this, and this is just a preference on like the design, is I like to do, this is what you would call weeding vinyl. When you look at, here's a piece that I weeded. All these spots here are the extra pieces of vinyl that you don't use. You remove them and you weed them off of the vinyl sheet when you cut it. And then this is your result. Well, there's another technique that you may not be familiar with. It's called reverse weeding, to where you actually keep all of the pieces that you would typically remove and get rid of the piece that you would typically keep. So you can see the bit of the difference here. This is reverse weeding, and this is your traditional weeding. So I thought, why not try the same concept but with reverse weeding? So this is actually the first time I'm trying it. So you get to see me do it on camera for the first time. Let's see if it works. No reason it shouldn't work, but it's just a little bit of a different way to shake up sort of the pattern of your designs, especially if you're making a lot of these and you want it to kind of just have some very mild differences between them. So I'm just doing the exact same thing I did with the first one, putting that mini press down. Don't make a lot of movements on it. I pick it up gently a little bit to kind of cover the whole space because this is a bigger butterfly. And I'm going to go to the other side. And again, you're just going to want to let this cool before you pick it up. So let's see. Mine's a little warm. I just took it off, but this side's cooling down a little faster. There we go. So that's the same technique that we just did, but we did it with a design that was weeded in reverse. So you can see the difference here. These are two different templates, but you can see the concept difference with how I apply the iron-on vinyl. So both are really fun ways to use vinyl and to create paper butterflies. You can make these in all different sizes, colors, like I said, different, weed versus reverse weed. And they're just a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for my next tutorial. I'm going to be doing a really cool butterfly craft soon using this technique. So if you're in the mood to create something using paper butterflies that sparkle a little bit, make a whole bunch now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.